Lamar Jackson, coming into year 3, has a squad around him that can be even more dangerous. Great coaching from John Harbaugh. The defense is nasty. The Super Bowl potential is there.
Welcome to the Rines Report with your host, Tristan Blake Rines.
So what can I say about the 2019 season that hasn't already been said? Lamar Jackson, at 23 years old, brought the Ravens to the number 1 seed in the AFC, broke the quarterback rushing record with 1,206 yards, put up a total of 43 touchdowns, and won the NFL MVP unanimously. All 50 votes to Lamar Jackson. The read option brought in by offensive coordinator Greg Roman was dirt nasty. The Ravens had all the momentum in the league going into the playoffs with a 14-2 record. Again, the number 1 seed in the AFC, led the NFL in points with 33 per game, rushing 200 plus a game, one of the better defenses in football. And then the Titans and the boulder of Derrick Henry came knocking at the door and kicked it right down. The division round of the playoffs didn't quite go nearly as planned as the Ravens and their fans and the NFL even saw coming. And it didn't just get to the Ravens, got the Patriots too. What a weird playoffs we had. But all that to say, the future looks bright in Baltimore. So let's touch on the off-season moves. According to Over the Cap, the Ravens have $30 million in cap space heading into this offseason. With a large amount of success, unfortunately means that players leave, they come and they go, and some, obviously want some more money. They got some key free agents. Jimmy Smith, cornerback, 32 years old, has been an effective press corner for the Ravens over the years, but he could be the odd man out in a secondary that features Pro Bowler All-Pro Earl Thomas, Marlon Humphrey, another All-Pro, Marcus Peters, and Chuck Clark. Jimmy Smith could be hitting the market. Another guy in the secondary, Tony Jefferson, the safety. Similar situation again to Jimmy Smith. Jefferson also coming off of an injured year though, and the Ravens signing Chuck Clark to a lucrative deal basically, signals that this is the end of the road in Baltimore for Tony Jefferson. Matthew Judon, 3-4 outside linebacker, coming off a very good year, 9.5 sacks, 54 combined tackles, 4 forced fumbles, 33 quarterback hits, and 14 tackles for loss. The Ravens already plan to franchise tag him. Possible tag and trade candidate. There's some speculation stirring around the NFL about that. Another positional guy heading into free agency, restricted free agent, Matt Skura. With Jackson's flashy, nearly unstoppable season came some superb offensive line play. The center position, Skura being the center for 10 games, played all 100% of the snaps up to that point, and then unfortunately had to finish the season on IR. So he's a restricted free agent, meaning the Ravens can match any offer he gets in free agency, and I wouldn't be surprised if they elect to do so, but we're going to talk a lot about this potential offseason. And another guy hitting the market that's been, one of the better players, a role player, if you will, Michael Pierce, defensive tackle, 27 years old, and I wouldn't be surprised if he fetches a solid contract on the market as a veteran run stuffer and, overall showing presence in the run game. And the positions of need for the Ravens this offseason, some more edge help, some more pass rush, inside linebacker, wide receiver, and I'd also say the guard position. Some potential moves at those positions. Let's start with edge. The Ravens could use some more pass rushers. If the Ravens elect to keep Judon, they will still need some more pass rushers to remain the aggressive NFL defense that we've come to expect of them. The Ravens ranked 26th in sacks last year, tied for 26th with only 28 on the year. And one candidate I think the Ravens could get that isn't necessarily too expensive would be the former New York Giant, potentially outside linebacker Marcus Golden. Golden, the kind of pass rusher the Ravens could use to complement Judon on the outside. 10 sack season, 13 tackles for loss, 27 quarterback hits. I'd say that he probably won't be nearly as costly as a Bud Dupree or a Dante Fowler, but he could still be very, very productive in the Ravens defense. Inside linebacker, I think the Ravens remain with Patrick Owonosoor here, considering they play a 4 linebacker, 3 down lineman kind of defense typically. I'd imagine they're going to keep Owonosoor. He's young, knows the defense, and is a good complementary linebacker. And when it comes to replacing the other linebacker, Josh Bynes, who's hitting the market as well, and still trying to find a presence that would replace the former of C.J. Mosley, I think Corey Littleton, the inside linebacker from the LA Rams, could very well fit the bill here. 134 combined tackles last year, 3.5 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and 4 fumble recoveries on the year. Littleton could provide the cover linebacker element that the Ravens need to help account for guys like George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Zach Ertz, and any other tight ends in the league that are going to be popping almost out of nowhere. Covering guys like those kind of caliber tight ends is so important in today's game. I think Corey Littleton could very well be the guy, and I think he'd be the big splash for the Baltimore Ravens this offseason. Let's move on to wide receiver. The Ravens could get more dangerous on offense by improving the passing game even marginally. They already have Andrews and they got Hollywood Brown, but they could further keep defenses on their toes, on their heels even, with another threat, and I think a very simple guy to go out and get, not too costly, coming off of a very productive year considering his role, is Kendrick Bourne from the San Francisco 49ers. 30 catches last year, 5 touchdowns, and 358 receiving yards. He really started to shine a little bit later in the year. Former undrafted wide receiver from Eastern Washington University. Again, I think he could be a little bit more on the affordable side. He could be a good underneath option, get some separation. You have your deep stretch the field guy in Hollywood Brown. You get your intermediate middle route running kind of guy with Andrews, and then you'll have your underneath guy as well with the slew of tight ends they already have on the roster, and including Kendrick Bourne. And again, coming off a good year, limited cap space, even still, I think Bourne could be a solid fit in this offense. Finally, the guard spot. More of a provisional pick here. I think the Ravens don't need to address the spot in free agency. They could possibly draft the replacement down the road to Marshall Yanda, getting up there in years, coming off of another great year, probably one of the best guards in football last season, all-pro caliber season. And the Ravens are picking at 28th overall. The best guard in the draft this year, likely going to go a lot earlier. Tristan Wirfs will be gone very likely well before the 28th pick. But I can imagine the Ravens are going to address this position maybe day 2, and I can't imagine they'd go even into day 3 trying to address the guard position. They've got a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 2 4th round picks, 1 coming from the New England Patriots, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th round pick. So the Ravens got 8 draft picks, $30 million to play around with, and a very youth-filled team as a whole with a savvy mix of veteran leadership. The Ravens have a comfortable amount of things to work with this offseason, and the Ravens and their fans are surely excited for a more revenge tour type of season. We dropped the ball a little bit at the end there. We get it. But this year, we're out for blood. We got the MVP on our team. The run game geared up and ready to go. They're going to get better on defense. They're going to get even more aggressive, I can imagine. And the Ravens, going into this next year, are going to be a really, really interesting team to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stick around, watch some more content. Feel free to subscribe, get the bell on. Social medias are in the description below. Like, comment, share, all the good stuff. And I'm going to catch you in the next video. Adios.